The Kuliang, the story, it's not just one cared and the other didn't. It's that they both cared and looked after each other. It's peace, friendship, love, understanding, and respect. I'm Elyn Maclnnis. I am the head of the Kuliang Families Group. I lived in China for 30 years, from 1988 until almost 2018. We came back in 2017. So we had 30 years there in Nanjing, Beijing, Shanghai, and Chongqing. And we raised our daughters there. They were 9 and 7 when we went to China, and now they're in their 40s. I think Peter's dad is Don. I think Don had a pretty big influence on us, but mostly, you know, he lived in Chinese areas until Peter was through high school. So their family was very much with the Chinese people, and I think that was
that's probably the
biggest effect.
Influences. His enthusiasm for China was spread down to his children. Just like our enthusiasm for China spread to Zhonghua, Aizhong, Aihua. They both picked that up. And then, of course, they carried it in their own way, television and other things.
Sansa made Peter's slippers, his little shoes.
It's very special to still have these.
Yes.
She made them by hand, you know.
They're
handmade.
They're beautifully made. You can see her tiny, tiny stitches. They're so perfect. It's a good thing we have this plastic picture holder, because on this side we have Peter's mom and Peter and his brother. You can see the little red shoes. And then on this side, we have Aihua when she was 1 year old, and she's wearing the same little red shoes. We now have a granddaughter whose feet aren't big enough to wear the shoes.
She's only 1 year old.
But these shoes will pass from generation to generation. It's 75 years old.
It's a wonderful memento, like a reminder of Sansa.
Couldn't keep him home.
Yeah.
He was 84, and everyone said to him, "Oh, Don, you're 84. Are you sure you want to go to China?" Yes, I'm going back. We started the work after we visited Kuliang. 2015, you couldn't find Kuliang on the internet. Maybe 20 sites had something that mentioned Kuliang. So I just started my research, and I just did as much research as I could, and finally I found the 1907 handbook to Kuliang with a map and a name list in it. And so then I knew, once I had a name list, I knew who I was looking for. So that was a big help. And once we had that, we knew a lot about Kuliang, because those old directories and handbooks have a lot of information about Kuliang and its history, what it was like, what they did.
Important to say that when Elyn first began her interest in Kuliang, it's because that was part of my babyhood. But as she researched and as she met people, the true story of Kuliang and the people in Kuliang, the Chinese people and the foreigners, came out, and it was very exciting to see what they did. And that's really what has motivated Elyn, not just looking for a house or a pair of shoes, but actually looking at the people who lived there, what they did, and their relationship with China. In particular, the friendship and caring that was going both ways.
I really hope that not just people to people have good relationships, but then the governments as well. Will be great.